In the Fontaine Archon quest, Arlecchino said that she is from Fontaine, and later revealed that it was a lie to help the mission proceed smoothly. But do you know that she is actually from Khaenri'ah? Also, the reason behind her curse and the strange fire inside her? And how it may all be related to this crimson moon. Let's discuss. Let's first talk about the powers of Arlecchino. Arlecchino has many sources of power. Upon killing the previous knave and becoming a harbinger, the Tsaritsa pardoned her matricide and granted her a delusion, proof of royal favor and a badge of honor. During her time in the House of the Hearth, she also received a vision for her burning ambitions and proof of her defiance of fate. But even before all these, she had the power of a strange flame within her. It was the result of her Khaenri'ah heritage. The ancient Baelmoon bloodfire burns within her, the noble blood serving as both curse and blessing. This was her first power. When young Khaenri'ah was at the House of the Hearth, she discovered an ability to wield a strange fire. This attracted much curiosity, as no one in her family knew of such power. But it was more of a deep-rooted curse than ability. Each time she let her vigilance wane, this power would run rampant, eating away at her body. First her fingers, then her palms, and then her forearms. The blackened marks were akin to those of burned charcoal, just as she seemed akin to burning firewood. She had a vague foreboding that if this dark shadow were to creep up her shoulder and snake from shoulder to heart, she would likely undergo some sort of change. That's why she tried to remain emotionless as much as possible. The flame had some strange effects that brought her even more trouble. Those rendered ash by these fires would leave afterimages. At times, they were fragments of memory, and at others, they donned the aspect of dazzling colors. But as those who fell at her hand increased, Arlecchino began to hear various voices. Screams, wails, and hurled recriminations would wake her from dreams, and she soon grew used to this. Although not as special as Clervy's shadow, in few cases these afterimages would be complete enough to take on the form of a conscious individual. She had few dreams worth remembering fondly, in any case, filled as most were with a crimson moon and barren wilds. Since she was young, Arlecchino frequently had dreams about a crimson moon. After meeting the Tsaritsa, being bestowed with a delusion, and inheriting the name Arlecchino, the young knave was also granted an individual audience with her superior, Director Pierrot. Pierrot offered her to answer 5 of her questions, without any lie or deliberate mystifications. When she asked what her constant dreams of a crimson moon and powers mean, Pierrot said he once served the final dynasty of an ancient underground kingdom. Its dynastic name was Eclipse, and before them came the Crimson Moon. And for the secrets from before her birth, he suggested her to purchase a book named Hierobranto Innamorato. We know that Pierrot was a royal mage of Khaenri'ah. Hierobranto Innamorato is the first volume of a book named Khaenri'ah. And the author of the first edition claims to have based this tale on a legendary story known throughout Khaenri'ah. This is a story set in a very ancient time. In those days, a crimson moon shone down upon the subterranean realm, and not the dark sun of latter days. Due to the kingdom's unique position, things from outside this world were always leaking into it, including strange monsters, calamities, and sometimes even children. In anticipation of the arrival at their kingdom of gods from beyond, the people of Khaenri'ah founded an organization, an orphanage to take care of such children. The main motive of this orphanage was to cultivate beings who could transcend the gods. In latter days, the orphans of the kingdom and those who wandered in from outside were accepted as well. By beings who could transcend the gods, they could mean the Descenders. And our traveler could somehow be connected to it. But let's talk about the book now. The book centers around a young boy named Khaenri'ah. His first memory was that of being asked by the grown-ups to crawl through a dark corridor. This passage might have been a chimney for winter fires, for it was filled with coal ash. As he crawled, he would sometimes stumble in the pitch-black darkness. When Khaenri'ah reached the end at last, the exit had not opened yet. He knocked, only for the grown-ups to coldly ask, "Are you dead?" They kept asking the same question, until he at least shouted, "Yes, I'm dead." The adults then asked, "Did you see it, then?" Perhaps it was the fear brought on by the darkness, combined with hunger and exhaustion, but Parent Harry did indeed see an illusion. The crimson moon, hanging high in the pitch-dark night sky, suddenly turned around, revealing itself to be a titanic, horrified eye. The adults opened the door and embraced the soot-covered Parent Harry. "You have traversed the fire of 2 worlds within the hearth, and here you are reborn." This orphanage, that is centered around a hearth, could be the first form of the House of the Hearth. As the director of Fatui is from Khaenri'ah. And the concept of reborn after passing through the hearth seems very similar to what Arlecchino did with her flame. Arlecchino clearly hasn't been through this ritual, but we know that she is from the Crimson Moon dynasty. It could be that she got this ability by blood. She could even be the descendant of Parent Harry, as in Volume 2 of the book, we find Parent Harry in Teyvat. She might even be the direct manifestation of the Crimson Moon. Comment below what you think.